G'day, it's Bill here from Sidereal Trading. A little bit noisy in the factory, so we've closed the door today. A while back, I did a video about the new Astro Night torches. They're really useful for use on an astronomy field, having a dimmable red light that won't ruin your night vision. I think my favourite one was the dim red one that you can put on your tripod that gives the dimmest general glow in the ground around the rig. This stops people, which is sometimes me of course, from kicking the tripod in the dark and ruining your polar alignment. But if you saw the video, you might remember that one of the things I wasn't super keen on was that some of the torches come on with a white light, which isn't good on an astro field. Well, Matt from Astro Night Torches has listened to our feedback, and now we've got the first in the new batch of his torches. He's also sent a couple of new lights, and one of them is definitely not for the imaging field. So let's check them out. Okay, let's have a look at the changes to the existing Astro Night range. Last time we looked at a couple of Walkaround variety. That's the ones that you hold in your hand rather than you wearing on your head. These are really good. They've got long-lasting batteries, they're ergonomic, and they provide USB power for other items. The one thing I didn't like about them is the fact that the first thing that they do when you turn them on is shine a bright white light, like that. That's no good for use on a viewing or astrophotography field. So we sent that feedback to Matt, and he made some changes to the firmware in the torches. This one is the NMLC, and this is the one that I use literally all the time. It lives here on my desk, and I use it for things like servicing mounts and taking product shots. It stands upright, as you can see, and you can manipulate the torch in pretty much any position you need. It moves around like that. I especially like the strong magnet at the bottom because this desk here has a metal frame and I can put it sideways and illuminate something on the floor or under the desktop. Now this one's the old one, and you can see that there's no outward difference between the two. Let's see, put the old one down. If I press this button here, the coblet lights come on dim and red, and that's perfect for the astronomy field. You're not going to ruin anyone's night vision with this. If you want a brighter red, let's see. There's a brighter red. You can press the button a second time. Of course, you can adjust the brightness up and down with these buttons on the left and right as well. You hold the same button and it turns off. Of course, if it's a white light that you want, all you need to do is keep pressing. Once you go through the red phases, it switches to white. There's that one, and then there's the torch. I really like this torch. It does the stuff I want to. It doesn't have the disadvantages I don't want. Honestly, I think this one is the perfect walk-around torch for me. Of course, people do have different uses, and so there's the BG58. That's this one. This is the BG58. This is the new one. This is Paul's favourite. Actually, I think it's Lynn's favourite. The operation is pretty much the same as the NMLC, but the ergonomics are a little bit different. It has a little stand that you can use to prop it up, the dual magnets, and the LCD display, which is in there. That shows you your battery life. If you can't quite put it in the same attitudes. On the other hand, this one's got a little hook. There's a hook. So you can hang it in a tent, in a tree, or on your tripod leg brace. So you'd choose between the two based on what you need to do with your torch. And they're both really excellent torches. Put that down there. The other thing with the new versions of these torches is that the battery life has been extended by about 60%. This extends the run time to something like 3 days, but more importantly, it means that you can use them as a USB power source for your phone or other stuff. Of course, Astro Night have other torches, and here are a couple of new ones. This is really nice. As you can see, it's a lantern. It's not meant to put out any beam of light, but rather it's used as a marker. My club's dark sky site is probably very similar to sites all around the world. On an observing night, people move around carefully using red torches or even no torches, and the club has to manage that. Our club has paths with white painted logs along the sides and small red solar LEDs along the paths as well. The problem with these LEDs is that the batteries get tired and they tend to die well before it gets light. But the tent area is off to one side, up near the property boundary, and out there aren't any paths and certainly no LEDs. It's dark as anything. Now when I'm imaging, I normally shamble off to bed before midnight, have a couple of hours of nap before coming back to watch my meridian flip or do flats or something. So I'm up and down overnight. Trying to find my way back to the tent, I have got lost in the past. I've got a little red LED on a battery that I leave glowing on the ground next to my tent, but it's not very good because it kind of gets lost in the grass and I have trouble seeing it from a long distance. This Astronut Lantern would be great. You just hang up the tent, put it on a tree next to me and I'll never get lost again. It's got 3 different colours. Where's the button? Where's the button? There's the button. It's got 3 different colours: red, warm white and cool white. What's more, each colour is dimmable, so there's a lot of options that you control from just one button. It did take me a little while to figure out how it works, but it's not actually all that complicated. In red mode, if you press the button once, it comes on dim red. Another press and it gets brighter, and another and it's brighter still. There you go. One more and it goes off. Right. Double press, it switches to white mode. In white mode, the cycle goes dim filaments, yeah, warm LEDs, white LEDs, and then all LEDs. Ooh. And then you turn it off again. Right. You double press again while it's off and it goes back to red mode. And that should come on red. There it goes. The runtime varies because of the different colours and brightnesses, but when it's dim, it'll go up to 60 hours, which is heaps. Now this is the sort of lamp that clubs might get a couple of dozen of and use them for star parties. You'd have them at the ends of paths marking destinations so people can find places like the roll-off roof, the path to the clubhouse, accommodation, toilets and stuff. Because you can change the colour, you can have the distant things marked with the yellow light, which means people stay orientated without causing night vision problems. It's pretty much perfect. Right, this one is completely different. This one is industrial and it's a little bit scary. It's definitely not the sort of thing you use when there's other astronomers around. This one is for the light painters amongst us. You've seen those cool wide field images with the subject holding a light pillar? See the beam of light shines upwards? Not only is it very, very bright, it illuminates the dust and the other stuff in the atmosphere above the person. It's also close to a parallel beam and you just can't do that with a normal torch. The HLX1 has a zoom lens built into the front light, meaning you can go from a wide beam, let's see if I can get this going, you can go from a wide beam to one which is pretty much parallel. It turns into one of those limelights that you see in the theatre. Tangent. Here we are in my backyard at night. Now, last time I was at Melbourne Observatory, I took one of these things with me and I wanted to see how useful it was as a pointer for showing stars or planets. So here, check this out. I'll just turn this end off and turn this bit on. See how nicely sharp it is? It's a well-focused beam with nice sharp edges. That's the tree it's maybe 100 metres away. There's a bat up there. Now, imagine I was out looking at a star and you could say, there's a star up there, there it is. It works well. It's not quite as sharp as a laser pointer, but you don't need a license to have it. Let's go back to the office. It's also got a long runtime, which is up to 20 hours, depending on how you use it, which means that it has to have a serious battery. And that's okay, because it feels good and chunky in your hand. The big battery also means you can use it as a USB power source for things like heater straps or your light box, because the USB plug is in the side and you just take that off there. Finally, if you turn the torch around, there's a softer light at the back. Let's see if I can turn that on, which is good for using inside a tent or more subtle light painting. I'm also a bird watcher and this torch would be incredible for spotting owls and nightjars in the field. I'm planning to use it down at Little Desert in a few weeks' time, but make sure I'm well away from astronomers. I don't want to blind the birds either, really. So that's the latest. Not only has Matt got some new lights, he's changed the astrofield torches to come on red and dim so you don't have to go through the white phase to turn them off. This feature makes the Astro Night Walkaround torches absolutely perfect for what they're designed to do. So do yourself a favour and check them out. It's an Australian brand and we like Australian brands. The rest of the range is available, of course, with the head torches and dedicated red lights. You can check out our webpage. I'll put it down here. And while you're checking out our webpage, you can check out our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, do all that stuff that helps our SEO. It's a mystery to me. I'm Bill from Sidereal Trading and we'll see you again next time.